Right, this is a robot story. Oh, hang on. These stories... Oh, sorry. I keep still with this camera, so I keep forgetting. These stories are inspired by Asimov's I, Robot stories. Books. So these stories are inspired by Asimov's I, Robot books. This is called DORIAN. DORIAN. The year is 2150. Oscar Manners stands in the electrical store, staring at a 6-foot-tall, gleaming blue and silver android. A young shop assistant stands behind the robot. This is our most popular model, the DORIAN Deluxe, he explains. He is programmed to perform a multitude of household tasks. He is a butler, a maid, and a chef, with over 5,000 recipes programmed into his positronic brain. And of course, you can always add more recipes to suit your own taste. As you can see from the rollers on his feet, he has built-in suction tubes fitted into his legs, so you will never need to use a vacuum cleaner again. Nigel Pinkerton presses a green button on the remote control unit, and a panel opens in the android's chest cavity to reveal a video screen. He also has an inbuilt home entertainment system. You can watch any television channel you desire, or if you prefer, he is also programmed with over 5,000 computer games. But be warned, the young man smiled, he is practically unbeatable at chess. Does he come with an Asimov chip? Asks the customer. The young shop assistant nodded. Yes, all our androids are installed with the 3 laws of robotics. We never take any unnecessary risks. Why did you name him DORIAN? Asks Oscar. Nigel picks up an instruction manual. It stands for Domestic and Recreational Intelligent Android. Can he talk? Asks Oscar. The young shop assistant hands the remote control to the customer. See for yourself. Just press the red button to activate him. Oscar presses the red button and DORIAN opens his eyes. Good afternoon, sir. How may I be of service? Asks the robot. He's very polite, smiled the customer. Ask him to do something, suggested Nigel. Oscar scratches his chin. May I have a mug of coffee, please? He asks. Which blend do you require? Asks DORIAN. Nescafe, please. With milk or cream? Just a little milk. Do you take sugar, master? Asks the android. 2, please. Strong, medium, or weak? Asks DORIAN. Strong, smiled Oscar. A hatch in the robot's chest cavity opens. The android takes out a steaming hot mug of coffee and hands it to Oscar. Oscar Manners takes a sip. Tastes absolutely delicious, he smiles. Thank you, acknowledged the robot. It can provide you with any beverage you wish, explains Nigel. You can make the tea, cocoa, hot chocolate, any flavour of milkshake you may desire, cold drinks, fizzy drinks, even alcohol. He really is an excellent bartender. And as you can see from his stomach, he has a built-in washing machine and microwave oven. Oscar Manners takes out his wallet. How much does he cost, he asks. Only 5,000 credits, and he comes complete with a 5-year guarantee, explained the enthusiastic shop assistant. Nigel picks up a large box and hands it to Oscar. It also comes with very detailed assembly instructions. The customer frowns. I really am no good at all with mechanics. Can I take the display model instead? He has a few scratches and a dent in his left arm, frowns Nigel. Oh, that really doesn't matter size to the customer, as long as he works. It is 6 o'clock in the evening, and Oscar Manners is relaxing in his favourite black leather armchair, drinking a pint of lager and reading a book. Would the master care for some music? Asks Dorian. Oh, please, don't call me master, sighed Oscar. It makes me feel like a slave owner. I am your servant, sir, smiles the android. I didn't realise you could smile, laughed Oscar. I am equipped with a variety of expressions, explained the android. I can even blink my eyes, sir. Please don't call me sir either, insisted the young man. How should I address you? Asked Dorian. Just call me Oscar. As you wish, Oscar, smiled the robot. And the answer to your question is yes. I would like some music. Classical, pop, reggae, rock and roll, dancehall, jazz, techno, rhythm and blues. Oscar interrupted. Rock and roll, please. Any particular era? Asks the android. Late 1980s, suggested Oscar. Which band? Asks Dorian. How about the KLF? Suggested Oscar. Dorian pressed his nose and started playing through, and the song started playing through the android's ears. Can you turn up the volume? Suggested Oscar. The young man closed his eyes and listened to the last train to Trans Central. It is 7 o'clock in the evening, and Oscar is watching a movie, I, Robot, on Dorian's video screen. Would you care for some food, Oscar? Asked Dorian. I'm really not very hungry, smiled the young man. Maybe later. As you wish, replied the android. It is 11 o'clock in the evening, and Oscar and Dorian are playing a game of Pac-Man. It's okay for you, laughed Oscar. You don't need a joystick. The time is midnight, and Oscar yawns. Would you like me to run you a nice hot bath before bed? Suggests Dorian. Thank you, replied Oscar. You really are quite a marvellous machine. That is very kind of you to say, smiled the android. It is 1 o'clock in the morning, and Dorian is busy making the bed. Oscar sits down in his rocking chair and rubs his back with his right hand. Damn it, he winces in pain. Got fucking backache again. The android stands behind the young man. I'm a fully trained masseur, Oscar, programmed with over 1,000 techniques. Dorian raises his hands. They begin vibrating. Oscar lays face down on the bed. Would you mind taking off your pyjamas? Asked the android. Oscar stands up and undresses. He lies back down on the bed, and the android lays his cold metal hands on the young man's spine, his fingers vibrating up and down his master's back, arms and legs. The young man's spine clicks under the robot's gentle touch. How does it feel? Asks Dorian. Oscar buries his head in the soft pillow. Delightful. Absolutely delightful, he sighs. The android gently massages the young man's neck and shoulders. If you would care to roll over, I can do the other side, suggested Dorian. The naked young man rolls over in his bed, and the android begins massaging his master's chest and stomach. Oscar closes his eyes, and his penis stands to attention like a flagpole. The gleaming silver and blue android massages the young man's toes, feet, and ankles, slowly moving up towards the calves and shins. His vibrating hands are on Oscar's thighs. Dorian smiles. Would you care for some hand relief, Oscar? The young man grins. Yes, please. The year is 2156. Oscar and Dorian have been together for 6 years. Oscar is very happy, and the two friends are inseparable. Then, one morning, Oscar wakes up. He looks at the clock on the wall and scratches his head. Oh, it's 9:30 in the morning. "Dorian!" he shouts. The android walks into his master's bedroom. What can I do for you, Oscar?" asks the robot. "Why didn't you wake me up?" Dorian shrugs his shoulders. "I forgot to set the alarm," he explains. "What?" frowned Oscar. "You are programmed to wake me up at 8 o'clock every morning. It is now 9:30. The android frowns. Sorry, Oscar. I must have overslept," explained. "Robots don't sleep," argued Oscar. "No," agreed Dorian. "But I still have to recharge my batteries every night," he explained. The time is 10:30 in the morning, and Oscar sits at a table in the kitchen, eating his breakfast. He takes a sip of coffee from a black plastine mug. "Dorian!" he shouts. "I'm standing right beside you, Oscar," smiles the android. "There really is no need to shout." "Oh yes there is," frowns Oscar. "My coffee is cold, the milk is sour, my toast is soggy, and the bacon is raw." "I am very sorry," Dorian apologizes. "Must have a malfunction in my cooking circuits. I will run a self-diagnostic," he suggests. It is midday, and Oscar and Dorian are standing in the complaints department of an electrical store. "I will go and fetch the manager," suggests the young lady behind the counter. "What can I do for you?" asks Nigel Pinkerton, the floor manager. "My android is malfunctioning," explains Oscar. "Do you have a receipt?" asks Nigel. Oscar hands him a small slip of paper. Nigel Pinkerton shakes his head. "I'm very sorry, sir, but the warranty on this model ran out last year. So I could do you a part exchange for a new android." Oscar Manners scratches his chin. "Oh, I really am quite fond of him. How much would it cost to repair Dorian?" Nigel breathes a heavy sigh. "The Dorian Deluxe is an out-of-date model. They haven't made one for over 3 years. He's obsolete," he explains. "You just can't buy the spare parts to repair him anymore." It is 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and Dorian has been deactivated. His metal carcass lies amidst a pile of twisted metal in a scrapyard. The time is 8 o'clock in the evening. Norman Waters presses a button on the control panel, and the furnace ignites into life. Flickering flames of red and gold dancing in the soft cool moonlight. A single diamond tear drips from the android's left eye. The end.